Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you're new around here, subscribe, drop this video a like, and get involved in the comment sections, Villa fans. I want your thoughts on everything I discuss, and I also want to hear your thoughts. So thank you very much, everybody who's watching, listening, that gets involved. Forest won, Aston Villa won, and I am the most positive, optimistic Aston Villa fan you will possibly find. Now, when I start getting negative, then things must be bad. And that is all I'm going to say on that matter. I've tried to give Gerrard time. I've tried to, see past certain things that have been annoying me. I've tried to look at the positives in certain situations, but I just can't. I mean, I've tried to look at it on just a results by results basis and just trying to accumulate points. That's the way I've been looking at it. But I'm sorry, it's absolutely woeful, dreadful. I walked out that ground last night, and me, Justin, and Dave were talking to each other, and you start reeling off things that you're annoyed about, and then you start thinking, how is it going to improve? You're reading off things that were going on a bit last season, and it's just so frustrating because there is a side there, there is a team there. I think there's a team there. I think there's some good players there, but it's just not working. It's just simply not working, and we're getting on to some things in a bit which are just absolutely mind-boggling, right? So we'll start at the beginning then. Team sheet comes out and Matty Cash is back, buzzing. He's going to offer a bit more width out wide, supposedly. Cash is back. And that was the only change. And Buendia came in. Buendia came in for Bailey. And we all knew that this game, we were going to have majority of the ball. It was pretty obvious that Aston Villa were going to dominate possession. We did match previews, we did predicted lineups, and you don't have to be a super tactician to know that. And I'm not giving any disrespect to Nottingham Forest, right? They're a fantastic football club. I loved the ground when I was inside. It was noisy, it was rocking, right? Brilliant for their manager, fair play. They are a woeful team in themselves, right? They are terrible, right? Let's not beat around the bush. They offered absolutely nothing, right? Apart from dead balls and the odd error if we made it. That was the way they were going to score. Set pieces, corners, free kicks, that's how they were going to score. They offered absolutely nothing going forward, right? So we knew that their strengths, they were a bit chaotic. They were a bit all over the place. And coming back to their ground, they were going to want to keep it nice and tight. And they're going to have players behind the ball. So we had majority of possession, right? We'd brought in Coutinho. We'd got in Buendia to unlock that defence. We'd stuck with Ollie Watkins. And we start off knocking the ball around half decent. And then Forest scored, don't they? And, it was a crap goal to concede, set piece, glancing header. Dennis, I think that was probably his first start this season. So, yeah, we're chasing the game and you're thinking, oh, my God, here we go. And then up steps Ashley Young. Fantastic goal. Absolutely fantastic. But the tail of the game was Aston Villa in possession. Now, we've just come off the back of a team. We played against a team with 10 men. So for me, as a fan, what I would be looking at is thinking, right, if we've come off the back of a game where we've played against 10 men, we couldn't carve them open. We're going to be coming up against a team in Nottingham Forest who are going to allow us to have the ball. They're going to allow us to have possession, right? All week, it should have been, how do Aston Villa break down football teams and Nottingham Forest, right? Because if all we are going to do is knock it from fullback to fullback, shift that shape, doesn't go. Shift it from fullback to Louise to defender to fullback and cut back. And then once we get in that moment, so when we are shifting the shape, we work in the opportunity and it goes to that fullback and we pass it backwards or back into midfield, we won't carve them open. That ball has to go first time, right? If you've worked that ball to a fullback, it's got to go, right? Time and time and time again, that was the only thing that was happening, right? It is so boring to watch, right? I don't know what the style of play is. Is there one? What are we trying to do? Because what I've just explained, when that ball goes to Matty Cash, the only thing I can think of is he's got to get that ball in first time against a team with a low block. Because when we go backwards, midfield, we don't offer anything. We want to see Buendia coming in, and it's just through the eye of a needle sort of stuff. Coutinho first half, I couldn't even tell you whether he was on the football pitch, right? I could not tell you whether he was on that football pitch. For all Ollie Watkins is running, for his harassing, for his dribbling, for him running, it doesn't offer anything. He doesn't offer a goal threat at all, right? It's just, I just can't tell you what we're trying to do, right? I can't tell you what we're trying to do. The second half kicked off, more of the same. It was more of the same. It was the same patterns of play every single time. Get it out wide, can't go out wide. There's no overlaps. There's no overlap from your fullback because there's no one to overlap your fullback. So it then goes back inside. And it's just frustrating. And playing like that, you know, a team that should have creativity, that should have patterns of play, that should have players to connect with each other, to 1-2 give and goes, triangles. I'm not seeing nothing. I'm not seeing nothing. And the one thing that is sticking out for me now, Villa fans, and this sticks out for me, and it's the tale of any manager under pressure, is when you bring on a striker in Danny Ings and put him up front, and then you bring on another striker, Cameron Archer, and you put him up front. I don't know where Danny Ings was playing. I have no idea where Danny Ings was. And then you put Watkins out wide. I mean, if you can't start Watkins out wide, then he shouldn't be on the football pitch, because your plan B, your plan C is to just bring on all these strikers. And we see every shit manager does it towards the end. When you start bringing on the strikers, they start lining the box, don't they? They just start camping in there, and then it's just nothing. Where's your plan B? Change your system? Yeah, change the system. Do something different. Don't just bring on striker after striker. What are they going to do? Although I did think Cameron Archer, when he came on up front, he was at least on that shoulder. He was at least dragging. He was at least sort of moving, anticipating. The ball went to Matty Cash at one point and he peeled off a defender towards the penalty spot. And I thought, you know what? Yeah, decent. I rated that. I rated Archer's movement. And that is the one thing I would say about that little rant that I've just had. Now, my Steven Gerrard thing, Villa fans, it's time. It's time. We brought Steven Gerrard in because we wanted to change direction. And we wanted to change direction because, things weren't going that great. And the change of direction stance, I kind of get that change of direction part. But since Gerrard's came in, we've had a couple of half-decent results where you're like, yeah, right, Southampton, Leeds. And then we were told the spiel of he needs to get his own players in. Then we were told that we need a full pre-season. And these are words that are sort of coming out his mouth, but I can't remember the actual quotes. It was, we need a full pre-season. Well, we've got your players in. We've had a full pre-season and we're still shit, right? The football's crap. There's no style of play. I can't tell you what we're trying to do. But after your interview against Nottingham Forest, you mentioned a phrase numerous times, moments of magic. You mentioned that phrase time and time again in that presser, that you're waiting for moments of magic. Now, you can't be the manager of a football team and wait for moments of magic. It doesn't work like that. You've got to create moments of magic. You've got to get in creative positions to create moments. You've got to, I would prefer us to be moments of tap-ins, moments of creating chances, moments of carving teams open. But wait, what are you waiting for? Coutinho for a moment of magic. He hardly touches the ball. Buendia, a moment of magic. He's not in the game. What are you trying to get him to do? You know, what are you trying to get Buendia to do? Because he's never in the game. He only ever gets in the game when he comes on that football pitch, when you've made a substitution, right? Getting these fullbacks out wide. Yeah, we had a moment of magic from Ashley Young. Fair enough. But if you're waiting for these players to just step up each game and just create something like that, you know, we've got to have a style of play that's going to create chances. How many moments of magic do Man City create? They create their chances with brilliant football. But I've just had enough. I've seen enough, and it's just absolutely rubbish, Villa fans. The football's rubbish. I don't know. I said to Justin after the game, all I think we're going to do with Gerrard is limp through the season. This is all we're going to do with Gerrard. Just limp through this game, limp through that game. We'll probably get beat against Chelsea, draw against Brentford. That's the pattern. Yeah, we're difficult to play against. We can keep clean sheets. We're solid at times, but Forest wanted a result. Forest wanted a point, and all they had to do was camp in and defend, because Aston Villa were never ever going to break down Nottingham Forest. And I have said this numerous times, and I've got slated numerous times, and I'm still sticking by it. The moment Mike Beale left, Gerrard was done for, because Beale was the brains behind his whole operation, right? From Rangers to Villa. And I know we get Villa fans that comment and they'll be like, but we were shit before Beale left, right? But the problem was, Beale was the brains. Beale was the in-game guy that would make the changes, right? And whether you disagree with that point, what I'm making or not, Michael Beale is a fantastic football coach. He will get QPR promoted. Look where they are in the Championship, right? They're playing brilliant football as well, right? As soon as Beale left, Gerrard was done for, because tactically, he doesn't know what he's doing. He hasn't got a clue. This system that we were playing now, when he first came in, and we were all hoping that it was going to slightly evolve into something, but it hasn't evolved at all. This system that we play is ridiculous, because you're asking your fullbacks to offer so much width. You're asking your fullbacks to be the ones that are going to create, because when they get out wide, it then comes back inside. But we don't see Buendia. We don't see Coutinho. Watkins is just always on the edge of the 18-yard box somewhere else, where he needs to be in the middle of the 18-yard box, dragging defenders moving, getting on that shoulder, looking for those balls that are going to be going into the box. But it's all too predictable. And this style of play is just shit. And I've tried to give Gerrard as much time as I physically possibly can. And you guys that are watching this now will know that. You will know that I have tried to give him chances. I've tried to be positive. I've tried to look for any glimmer, but I just can't. I can't see anything changing. When Dino left, the remit was sort of to take the club into in a different direction. Things aren't working. Things aren't going the right way. But can any Villa fan watching this seriously think that we're going to progress under Gerrard? And this is now the problem. Are we going to turn a corner and improve? No, we are going to play like this all season. Is finishing below where we finished last season acceptable? No. Are NSWE going to want to have another season like this? No. We were trying to get into the top 10 this season. We were trying to get 7th. But the away end's turned. The away end has turned. The away end was chanting for Gerrard to go last night. You know, I don't like booing players. I don't like booing McGinn when he came off. I thought that was poor. That was really poor from the fans, because as much as some of the players aren't performing, he didn't have that bad of a game. He didn't have that bad of a game. And after Leeds, I was looking at it thinking, fair enough, we created numerous chances. We should have won that game. But last night, we had 2 shots on target against bottom of the league. Nottingham Forest had more shots than us on target. And I think the players don't enjoy it. The players aren't enjoying playing for Gerrard as much as he wants them to be all in. He's all in. Are they all in? I just don't think they like him. I don't think they enjoy it. They don't play with a smile on their face. And that's another thing. So, Villa fans, let me know your thoughts, but I just can't see it getting any better under Gerrard. I'm not enjoying watching it, being a fan. I'm not enjoying creating the content, because it's just watching boring football. So, moments of Magic FC have got to get some moments, because it's just, you just come out the ground every time and it's just like, it's flat, it's crap. And it's just going to be interesting now to see what happens. I mean, Gerrard is Perslow's guy. So for Gerrard to go, it's got to come from the owners. It's got to be the owners going, nah, I've seen enough. We've spent enough. And that is it. These fans deserve better, because we're regressing. We're not progressing. We're going backwards. It's like this was Perslow's appointment, really, and it's not worked, and we've just got to get Poch in it, mate. We've got to go for Pochettino. He's the one. Pochettino is the man, and I just think that's the way forward. But I've had a bit of a rant. I've said my stuff, and I'm really annoyed, really frustrated. No one was going to come over and clap the away fans last night either. It was Martinez that dragged them across. And I just feel like Gerrard just is demeanour, like a bit of a moaner, like just to come up with something tactically, like come up with a game plan, like you did a game plan against City and it worked, but you're a young coach. Like, get creative. Like, I mean, last night, we played at Villa Park, up the Villa podcast, played at Villa Park. I think we had more tactical nous going into that game than what I saw last night against Forest. It's the thing I can't get my head around is you knew they were going to camp in and put all them bodies behind the ball. And it's just so laboured. That's what I don't get. That's my frustration. That is my frustration. But yeah, I've seen enough from Gerrard. I've had enough of him. And he ain't going to get no better, Villa fans. But I'd love to hear your thoughts now because, I will really want to know what your thoughts are. There's been a lot of comments in the comment section already, but let us know your thoughts on Gerrard, your thoughts on the performance. And yes, I imagine we will be back a couple of times this week. So thank you for watching. Subscribe and up the Villa.